This video is to show you the operation of the cameras that we use. We tend to use the Panasonic, either 100, 920 or even the 4K, but we don't tend to film in 4K because it uses up so much file size. So this is the 920 Panasonic camera. They are quite small and they're easy to carry around and easy to use. One of the biggest advantages of this camera is it has a Leica lens. The lens is very sensitive and very good, and a much better lens than you'd expect to find in a small camera like this. So the operation is, as long as you've got your battery in, if you open the window, it will turn on. And if you leave it for a second, you will get the window there. Now what that just told me, I am in photo mode. So I'm going to go to the side here and zoom in. And you'll see here there are three settings. One is photo mode, one is record, and one is playback. So obviously what I'm going to do is go to record. So now you'll see the camera is in operation, but let me go back a bit. But obviously you can't see anything in there, so I'll put something in the foreground, which is a small GoPro. So at the moment that is ready to shoot. But do we have a card in? So let me show you how to put a card into this camera. So if I close this down, always close the window when you are not using the camera, because that's the bit that breaks really easily. If you turn it over, you'll see here there's a little doorway. Just press once and the card will come out, like so. The cards we tend to use are the number 10s. This is a 32GB number 10. Always be careful when you put the card back in that follow the instructions on the window. The little corner that's taken off is there. So we'll put the card in. Okay. Right. So the first thing I always do when I put a new card in, or if I want to wipe an old card, is I go to... Now I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. And move the camera over slightly. It will go into focus in a moment. Just bear with me. Now you can see the whole window there, which is now in focus. I'm going to just click here and go to menu. When I hit the menu, I get a number of windows come up, and one is setup. Let me see if I can get that. Now setup is a number of menus which you can set various things on the camera, but what I'm looking for at the moment is something called format card. Format media, which is this one here. So format media, you see there's a little card icon there. So now this says, do you want to format the card? And you always have to select it if it's yes. Formatting card will erase content. Yes, I want to do that. And you'll get this little timer which will tell you when the card is formatted. So it usually takes a few seconds or a few minutes depending on how much is on the card. Remember, when you've formatted the card, this means that everything that was on it is erased. So make sure you back up all your footage from previous shoots, etc. The card is now formatted, so I can hit the exit button and it will take me back to the main screen. Now if you notice there's a little red square at the top here, and that's IA. That indicates Intelligent Auto. So that means this camera at the moment is on automatic. And if I zoom out again, oops, wrong way. If you look on here, there's a little button that says IA. You can flick between manual, which is this one here, and Intelligent Auto. Don't worry about the other ones at the moment. So I want to go back onto Intelligent Auto. Okay. So the camera is basically ready to shoot now. If we look at the top of the camera, and I'm going to just tilt this down so you can see it, you have a button here which is zoom in, and again because it's on Intelligent Auto I've got a fairly decent shot of the GoPro, and if I zoom out, okay. Now to record, there's a button on the side here. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that for you. And I'll zoom in. There's a little button here that has a red dot on it. You press that and that's your record button. And you'll know if you're recording because you'll have a little red dot here. There's something interesting on this as well. There's a little triangle there with a line. I know my camera is absolutely level because of that line. If I tilt the camera slightly, you'll notice that line will move. So you can see there. So if you've got it on a tripod and it's at that angle, you know that the camera's not straight. So if I put it back down again, there we go, that's nice and straight. So that's ready now to shoot. And in fact it is shooting. Okay. And then when I press the record button again, let's go back to that. It will turn green. You get the two little green lines, which means it's on pause. I'm just going to close the window at the moment. Now on these cameras, you'll hear that I'll show you that again actually. If I open this, it opens up the lens cover. Let's put that back a bit. And if I close it, it closes the lens cover. Now on the side here is what we call a shoe. Now these are used for attaching microphones. We usually use the Rode microphone. There's a shoe adapter release here. You pull that back and this shoe will come out easily. Please don't ever force these because they do break quite easily. So there's numerous little places where you can cover that up afterwards, so that will cover like that. And if you want to put the actual mic in, attach the camera there. So that's your shoe. I'll probably show you in the classroom how that works. Okay, so the internal mic of this camera, which is very good. Let me see if I can pull back again. The internal mic is here. This picks up quite a good amount of audio just as it is. But you'll be doing more audio stuff with Nick and he'll show you how to use the external mics. Okay, so that's your basic operation for this camera. One thing you always have to look out for is your battery and checking if your battery is full or not. So when you take the camera out, you can see here, if I can zoom in. I'll do that again with the doorway. So I'll close it, turns the camera off, open it, turns the camera on. There's your battery indicator, 2 hours 29 minutes. Always check before you book the equipment out that the batteries are full and you've got enough battery time for when you're for your filming. Closed again. Turn that on again. There's lots of other symbols that come up, and I'll go through the menus with you at another time, but this for the moment is just the basic operation of these cameras. One thing to point out, 1920, this is going to be filmed in HD 1920 1080, which is the standard for video production. I'm now going to go into manual. So I'm going to click on the AI again. And if I turn the screen round, you'll see there's a little icon there that says MNL. If we click on that, that now takes us into manual focus, and there's a number of things we can do here. But just for now, I'm going to show you how you can manually do an extreme close-up. So I'm going to use the GoPro again, and I'm going to go in as tight as I can. That now has gone out of focus. So what I need to do is, using the lens ring on the front of the camera, she says. Sorry, I had it really high up. I've now focused, and I can go in. Let me follow this in. I can go in extremely close. Right, so I don't know if you can see that, but the camera's extremely close to the GoPro. In fact, it's about an inch away. And that's by using the ring on the front of the camera. This will do your manual focus for you. My camera's just gone out. I'll try and do it with my one. At the moment I'm in auto, but auto goes out of focus at this point. So if I go on to manual, I should be able to focus the camera just using this ring here. And that's not bad, that's about right. Okay.